Week 14 is upon us. I'll get this straight real quick. So yeah, man, it's got some big games coming up this week. So I know y'all gonna be ready for them. I know y'all we got hold on, let me get this off my screen. All right. All right, what's up? Welcome to week 14 of the Wolfcast. As I put out on the chat, I have a newcomer, I guess. I'll introduce him in a second. I have my vice president. He's on a mission right now. He's in his car, but VP sitting at the top of the league. So he's not playing for much this week, but he still's got a game. He's going to put in his lineup. And then in a minute, we'll have the commissioner from the women's league to come in and talk about their league because they have 12 teams, so they have to start the playoffs this week. Got some big matchups. I looked over there for a little bit, so some pretty interesting matchups coming up on that side over there. I saw some of the husbands talking about it in our league, so I think we'll have some great games to talk about over there too, right? But before we get to any of that stuff, how y'all guys doing? Y'all got anything to say, anything to start off with? Let me go ahead and introduce our guests over here in the blue in our top corner up here. We got the better team. And I laughed at the name of his team when he started off this season because even if he lost, it was always going to be the better team lost or the better team won, depending on it was always the better team. So he's got a pretty good record coming into this final week of the regular season. Got a good chance to make the dance. It's been a while since he's been in the big boy dance. So none other than the better team. Go ahead, man. What you got?
What's up, man? Feel good. Feels good to be in the conversation this year. I had a long streak of bad luck, but feels good to be here. Just got to take care of business this week, and that should be good to go.
All right. What about you, VP? King of the Gridiron. So King of the Gridiron is our other guest tonight. You can't see him right now because he's driving incognito, but he's sitting at the top of the league, 11-2, right? So he's pretty much got the number one seed locked down. He's had it locked down since, I think for 2 weeks now. And so coming into this final week of the season, if he was in the real NFL, he'd be resting his guys, getting ready for a bye week in the playoffs. But in fantasy, you got to keep playing. You got to roll these guys out. You got to have those fantasy points. You got to have a good showing this week, man. So tell us, how's it feel, King of the Gridiron? How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, I feel great, man. I ain't got to worry about nothing. Right now, this week, I'm just using this week to, try my guys out there to see what they're going to do, how they're going to produce, and who's going to get the starting job for, the big boy playoffs once that kicks off. I mean, I made one mistake already this week by not starting Zeke, knowing that Rhamondre Stevenson was going to be out. But, I just want to see how he was going to produce once again. So next week, high ankle spraying out. Expect some different lineups in there. Just letting y'all know already off top.
Well, it's a luxury to have those kind of problems this time of the year when you got better players sitting on the bench that you might be able to roll out with. But yeah, Zeke, I saw some stat. Zeke had a better game last night than Tony Pollard has had all season, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wow. As a Cowboys fan, I know you're hurting off of stuff like that, but oh well. So
Hey, King of the Gridiron, I need you to win this week, bro. I can't have you testing stuff out, though.
Hey, every week I'm trying to win, man, but sometimes, it just don't work that way. But I'm trying. I hope Fire Dogs won anyway. He got me at the beginning of the season when the Cowboys dropped the ball against the Arizona Cardinals. But I think this week they're going to cook up another bird, though. I ain't worried about it.
And real quick, I need to check. I've been doing a poor job of monitoring things on the YouTube feed. So if one of y'all see anybody or notice anybody making any comments on there, let me know.
Gotcha.
And I think we just lost the better team. But while the better team is logging back on, I'll go over pick them real quick. So before we get into the matchups and everything, and I want to save some time for the commissioner of the ladies league, Mrs. Was it Queen of the Gridiron, for her to get on. So real quick on Pick'em, we got Action J is still leading the pack. He's at the number one. He's got 125. Next up is the G-Man sitting at 123. we actually have two people tied for 123. Do you know who that other person is? King of the Gridiron. You have any idea who's tied at number two?
I think it might be the King of the Gridiron.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got the G-Men and King of the Gridiron tied at number 2 with 123. Correct pick so far. You got the Lone Wolf sitting at 122. He's in third, and then you got two that are tied for fourth, but it rounds out the top 6 of us. STL and Dark Knight are sitting at 120. So those are all the teams that are within 5 of the leader. Action J, again, head of the pack right now and pick them. So still got a lot of more weeks to go over that, but it's always fun to watch how that goes up and down. And I'm fighting, man. I'm trying to get in there. I'm trying to get hopefully I can have a perfect week this week on pick 'em. It's been rough, man. And games like the Patriots last night really don't help it because, I definitely picked the Steelers to win that game based on what I saw on Sunday. I think in Vegas is laughing because I think the over-under was beat at halftime. So anybody who picked unders in that game were probably crying at halftime. So y'all got anything before we get into these matchups? Because there's a bunch, there's always games every week, right? And all these games matter. Y'all already talked about what teams need to do. You don't want certain teams to lose and whatnot. I know I want to win, but then there's 2 big games on the docket that really are going to mess with seeding and stuff like that. They all do, but there's 2 games that really come down to like divisions and stuff like that. So, but before we get into all those, like, did y'all have anything else before we get to those?
I mean, there's a lot of big games this week, man, and I know on top of all of that, I know Johnny just kind of mentioned it a little bit. I mean, Philly got to take care of Dallas this weekend as well. Put them out of the conversation for the East, so take care of that. We got that loss out the way last week, so we should be good.
That's what that was. That was getting that loss out of the
man.
week.
We were due for one. It's never good to carry a long winning streak. I mean, in Philly, we're familiar with carrying long winning streaks. And it's never a good thing to carry long winning streaks in the games, So get that one out the way.
Got it. Brandon can't do and soften y'all up for us, that we can come in and finish the job. That's all that happens.
All right.
Hey, at least y'all are in the dance. I'm over here seeing that Derek Carr got cleared of his concussion and that he's going to start on Sunday, and I'm like, man, I thought
it's probably good news for Johnny.
Huh?
But isn't that Phil's quarterback? It's probably good news for Johnny.
You gonna shout out Derek Carr?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. You just got to win by Derek Carr starting because he's not going to finish the game, and if he does, he'll have 4 turnovers.
It'd be better to start, somebody on a bye week.
Yeah, at least you don't get negatives. So I'll stop with the Derek Carr hate because he'll find us. All right, so. Again, there's a couple of games that we'll get into, but I want to we'll start with the easier picks. The first one that we'll talk about is Action J, who's 4-9, versus the GOAT, who's 4-9. These are both, I guess the only thing they're fighting over is toilet bowl seating, who's going to be closer to the bottom of the drain in that or in the toilet bowl, or, like that's really all there. Who's closer to the bottom?
Yeah.
So this is a fight to the bottom.
Well, Action J, man, he actually had a good team. He just got ate up by injuries this year.
Yeah. And
just a rough go, man.
We talk about the rosters and everything, and so, geez, I didn't even realize he had Aaron Jones on his team. I just saw that.
Yeah, bro. He has definitely had a rough go this year. And then GOAT. I mean, GOAT. His team is actually solid. He's put up good numbers. Just took a lot of losses. I'm familiar with that. That's definitely happened to me in the past. So even happened to me this year. So
Yeah. Well, you beat me. You trounced me. So
yeah, but I lost to STL. I lost to G-Men, and they were both lesser teams that I should have beat.
Oh, lesser teams. All right.
Yeah,
let's make a note that we're what?
I had them
5
both
minutes in.
Just crazy stuff happened.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure
that you might end up having to go against STL again. It's gonna have this weekend in the first round. We'll see.
I'm okay with that. It looks like I'm actually gonna be playing Jarvis if I get through this. So,
And I want my revenge for when you played me earlier this year. So I definitely want my revenge. You came to my house, you talked to me in my face, you were very disrespectful, and I will gladly repay you for all of that. So yeah, please come on. All right. Who gonna win between these two toilet bowl dwelling teams?
I'm gonna go with Action J, man.
He's got Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco versus Trevor Lawrence. I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is going to play, honestly.
Nah, not that high ankle sprain. He gonna. I would definitely down to that. I mean, it's a close division over there with AFC South, but nah, I don't think he's gonna play neither.
I'm surprised that he practiced this week.
Well, here's the other thing. I just realized this. If I'm not mistaken, let me refresh my screen and make sure I'm not looking at this as an old screen. But yeah, guess who was in GOAT's lineup last night, everybody? Ramondre Stevenson. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Don't lose.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to the next game then. Everybody picking Action J. The next game on so this is one of the games that I picked. It's kind of like game of the week. STL, four-time champ. And by the way, we can't see you better, team. But we had the four-time champ versus Dark Knight. So this game, the playoff implications work like this. So you got STL, who's 8-5. He took things over, and let me go ahead and let the queen of the gridiron in real quick. And we'll cover this game, and then we'll get to the women's playoff as the queen of the gridiron is coming on. So welcome, queen of the gridiron. Hey. So we've only broken down one game, and we're gonna do this STL and Dark Knight, and then I'm gonna hand it over to you because I know you're short in time. I want to just hear a little bit about the women's playoff before we finish up with after we finish up with this STL and Dark Knight matchup. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So STL four-time champ. He's 8-5. He took over the number one spot in the division last week with the win, and Dark Knight took a loss. So they both play each other. So the easy way to look at this, or two simple ways to look at it. One way, Dark Knight wins. He's 8-6. STL is 8-6. Dark Knight is in the playoffs. STL stays in the playoffs. STL would drop down to, I think, no lower than the 6th seed. 5th or the 6th seed, just really depends on what happens with the Wolf and the G-Men, really. But yeah, simple way to look at it. Knight wins. Both teams end up 8-6. They're in the playoffs. All the teams that we've already talked about are in the playoffs, including you, better team, because I think that would pretty much knock out an opportunity for Fire Dogs to leapfrog you. So I think the only person he can truly leapfrog might be Dark Knight.
Gotcha. Well,
so
I mean,
y'all know those two teams. What were you gonna say?
Very well.
Yeah,
man. So I mean, Dark Knight situation has been rough. Patrick Mahomes was not Patrick Mahomes this year.
No.
So it's definitely been tough on him, and STL starting a quarterback that the coach isn't real confident in. So
it's an interesting thing that coach came out and said that today, that he doesn't know who's going to be his starting quarterback. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Coming out of a bye.
That's a tough one. But I mean to be really real with you, man. I mean, Gardner Minshew, it's not a bad option based on what he's done last few weeks. So I think either way he'd be good there. Running back, definitely go with STL. Receiver, the same thing. I'm gonna go with STL with the win this week.
You're gonna go with STL?
Yeah.
He didn't get what he wanted out of the defense. I know that. I know he was hoping for a lot more than that, but 43 is still a solid number.
So, yeah, 43 is solid.
Yeah. Better than what the Seahawks are going to do against the Niners.
I'm rolling with STL too on this one, just based off of what numbers that like Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey put up and things like that. And even with the Steelers defense, I mean, like I said, 40 points ain't too bad, especially with what New England did to them. I was surprised they even got that many points.
Yeah.
But,
I will, the only caveat that I'll throw in there, because I do like to throw in a little caveats every now and then, because I do agree with y'all. It's hard to pick against STL in this game just because of, I can't remember last time he scored less than 250. Dark Knight, if Patrick Mahomes, if they get into a real shootout with the Bills, Patrick Mahomes can have one of those games, and especially without Pacheco, they're probably going to try to pass the ball. The difference is he just doesn't have those deep threats that he can count on like he used to with Tyreek Hill, and you're just not going to get those 70 and 80-point games that he used to, but he can get 50. Singletary against the Jets, I'm not sold on that. The Deebo Samuel thing, though, that could happen again.
But he's got the Seahawks defense, so every time Deebo scores, he's killing himself.
Yeah, and that's
Seahawks defense could end up in negative points this week, man.
Yeah. So as much as I try to make it sound all fluffy and everything like that, Dark Knight's gonna lose. So, but
I don't know that Dale started, but FDL went and got Edwards-Helaire too. So
he did, and I appreciate that because that means the G-Man didn't do that, so that helps me out. So. All right, so we picking. So far we have Action J winning, and we got STL winning. So that's enough about us, though. So let's talk about the women's league. So, Miss Commissioner, Miss Queen of the Gridiron, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm winning.
You winning?
Yeah.
What was your so your husband over here? He's been gloating. He's been talking about how great he did this year. I'm sure you had to hear all this nonsense, but tell us about your season and how things have gone for you. Tell us about that.
The season went great for me, actually. This is our first, our inaugural year as is in the ladies' league. I'm 9-4. I'm tied with Tamika. I forget what her team's name is.
Is she be Mrs. Laugh now? Is that?
Yes, that's who she is.
They were very, very creative. They wanted to make sure everybody knew,
So I also beat Miss One Time, Miss Zero Time, Miss Wannabe 4 time, 5 time, whatever she called herself. She ain't won one championship, and she claimed it. I just beat her last week. Beat the brakes off of her last week, so that was nice.
Oh wow!
She was coming in real hot. The brakes. I scored almost 300. She didn't hit 2. So,
Gotcha.
That is beating the brakes off of someone.
I beat the brakes off of her.
Yes.
But but she was ready for the heat. She came in hot. Beginning of the season, she was on our heads. So that was nice. That was a great victory. I feel like I had the target on my back, but I feel like I'm living up to what the hype was. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I pulled it up. So as you stated, Mrs. Laugh now is the number 1 seed. Queen of the Gridiron is the number 2 seed. You got the number 3 seed, Joso, which she's number 3 seed. Her husband's fighting for a spot over here. You have Be Strong at 4. So you have Miss STL versus Be Strong. That's going to be a big matchup in the first round.
Yeah,
that's going to be a good game because Be Strong's team is nice.
Yeah, Queen of the Bulldogs, or Queen Bulldog. I'm sorry, Queen of the Bulldogs. Queen Bulldog is number 6. 7 is Gold Driven. Who is Gold Driven? Who would that be?
It's Lamondie.
This is okay.
Oh.
So Swagner. So somebody is representing the playoffs in that household, and Hurts Donut is in the playoffs at 6 and 7. Who's Hurts Donut? Is that would that be Mrs. Donut?
Yeah, it's Donna. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure CD is going to be talking about that as well, because we haven't let him in yet. So he's on the way.
Now we got to talk about unsportsmanlike conduct, man. She called yesterday. She was very upset.
Controversy in the first league, in the first season.
In the first year, man. The very first year, man. She's very upset that there are teams with a lesser record than her that are in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm not mad at her for that because she tried her best. She played her hardest. It just didn't happen for her this year.
I can see. I'd be frustrated by that too. You finish at 7 and 6. You average 200 points. You're in the top half of those scorers, and
no, she did all right. She really did. So I understand her frustration, but it is what it is. She was gonna get beat even in the playoffs, even if she.
Oh wow!
We got to get Ruby on the show next week, man.
We listen. I don't know what y'all want me to say. I'm winning. I don't understand. Like, it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. I put my points where my mouth was. Like,
I need to get one of those sound effects.
mean, I'm not sure what else y'all want. Now, I will say this: the losses that I did have were most of those weeks I couldn't have done anything different, couldn't have put anybody else in. It's my defenses that keep messing me up. Brandon, your Eagles messing me up, man. Every week between the Chargers and the Eagles defense,
the first problem is that you have the Chargers defense. I understand that that's family, but the Chargers roster is suspect. Secondly, the Eagles defense, you got to know how to use them right. You don't know how to use them. That's
okay.
You got to know how to use them.
Don't know how to use them. Okay.
Yeah,
what's your record again? Wait, what was your record again, B?
Man, well, listen. First of all, I play in the A League. Okay, so
we really? You want to put
we can't compare. We can't compare records. You know what I'm saying? We got 4 more teams in this league.
Nah,
we can't compare points, man. What? Take 4 teams out of our league, man. My team would be loaded.
Let's go. You know what? Maybe we need a mixed league. Maybe it don't need to be men and women.
Do it.
Because
you know what,
man?
We could always have, we could always see. You know what? It's not fair because you don't have the same amount of
many teams. I know. Yeah.
So therefore, one of your rosters should be able to beat one of our rosters, except for a couple of them because they're just built too well. But
listen, you put me in, coach, wherever you need me, wherever I need to be. I beat y'all with 20 teams, whatever y'all need to do. Y'all.
I started to see who scored more points between you and your husband, but I think he scored more points, so I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna just stop there.
Did he?
It's the king, man. It's king. King zone, it's in the throne for a reason. It's king and the queen.
I can't turn against the king.
For the first time, for the first time, the Kings, fanhood paid off. The Cowboys defense came through.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why I wish we could take this into the playoffs because I want to see the King actually show up and be who the Cowboys really are. Because this team is going to fall at some point, and we know this.
Yes,
but it's getting ready to be December. So we don't know. We'll see.
It's going to start this week.
Hey, don't worry. The king knows how to work his team, though, man. Don't worry about
the yearly collapse of the Cowboys, man. You can count on it.
Okay,
count on it.
They're gonna count on this Sunday night.
All right, so I don't want to hold Queen too much longer. She's busy. She's a busy woman. She doesn't have time to fool around with us on this kind of stuff. But your plan, let's see, you got versus goal driven. Yeah. Let's see if let's see how many points you're favored by, and then I'll hear your let's see, are you favored?
If they haven't put their lineups in the favor, it'll be.
I was gonna say you're already favored by 13. So
lineups in. Well, what has if my defenses have either made me or broke me this year? That's it. I mean, that's usually what it has come down to. My defenses, because these defenses score so high in this league, they've either done me right or done me completely wrong. We'll see how Brock Purdy does at quarterback this week. The matchups for the matchups that I have, the lineup that I put in is the best that we'll see.
You need to make a change though, because you got Pacheco in there, so that's a 0.
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
I could have sworn Hold on now.
It just came out today that he was hurt. He's gonna be out.
Oh, okay. I was like, I could have sworn we submitted my lineup.
But you look at you can go with Herbert, or you got Tyler Algier, you got Travis Etienne, you got Zay Flowers.
I got choices. Yes, I know.
Hey, just so you know, man, STL is in the chat saying Queen and Gridiron run them out too much.
But Queen of the Gridiron has backed that up. I don't know what STL wants from Queen of the Gridiron. As a matter of fact, I learned from watching him all those years. Y'all remember that commercial? I learned from you, Dad. I learned from him all these years.
Hey.
Hang on. Yeah.
Where haven't I backed it up, STL? That's what I want to know.
Ooh.
What other comments do we have in there? Because I'm getting text messages that Mrs. STL is not only Mrs. STL is texting me as well. So she's watching this live too.
I think they're watching it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be messy. I was gonna say I'll just call them and see if they wanted to say anything live, but I'll stop there. Although STL continues to boycott the show, but he watches it religiously. All right. So you got your lineup. You're gonna get it straight. If you're already 13 favorite and the system is already projecting the 0 for, oh no, it's not projecting the 0 yet for Pacheco, but you put somebody, a little bit more juice in there, you should win. So
any given Sunday, we'll see.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Lamondi's got a tough. It's definitely a tough matchup for Lamondi this week. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that.
Hey man, but
he has a very mediocre quarterback. Lamondi does. Running backs are solid. Huh?
Dak Prescott, that mediocre quarterback?
Yeah, that mediocre quarterback.
Wow.
Very mediocre.
Yeah, very mediocre.
Very mediocre quarterback.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be live in the stadium watching that game. I think they're going to the game.
How you going to feel when your team get beat by a mediocre quarterback?
Listen, that mediocre, he played his best possible game he could have played last time he played Philly, and he still lost. He's not going to play better than 300 yards. So I'm not even worried about it.
Okay. We'll continue this conversation on Sunday night.
Absolutely.
Y'all watching the game together? Y'all come to the house watching?
He can't. No, he cursed me every time he come over. He cursed my team. He got to stay home.
I wouldn't invite him over. He come in anytime his Eagles are playing. He is decked out in all green. He got the Eagles Adidas on. Yeah. He wears too much.
Decked out in Eagles.
Yeah, I was like, if it was a fraternity, I think he'd break the rules on how much you can wear. You're not supposed to have the pants and the shirt. I think you have to do both.
We going, man. I dress like a winner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, Queen of the Gridiron, we really appreciate you gracing us on this here cast. I really appreciate you coming on, and good luck this week. I'm rooting for you. So maybe I'll have Mrs. Wolf join the league next year and show y'all how to continually win games over and over again, season after season. So, and build a winning squad. Might need some.
I think I've done that, but sure. Whatever makes you feel better.
All right. Well, you're more than welcome to stay on and hear the rest of these shenanigans. But I'll definitely be checking things out over there and see how it goes. So, any for anybody, just in case. I don't want to leave anybody out.
No. I'm good. Thank you, fellas. I will talk with y'all later.
All right. Later.
Bye.
All right. So we cut it off at STL and Dark Knight. We picked STL. The next game is, we're not going to make a pick in this game, guys. We're just going to talk about it. But it's the Huckleberry, who's 5-8, versus the better team, who's 7-6. We can go over who's favored and all that stuff like that. I can say one team is a 99% favorite right now to win. Yeah, it's been a rough season for Huckleberry. At least in reality, his high school is going to the football championship that he'll be at tomorrow. So he can probably celebrate that. He can probably celebrate the championship that Rustin Howe will win. Other than that, like I said, I'm not gonna do either disservice. These are both my brothers.
Y'all can pick it. I'm not tripping.
I love them to death.
Go ahead. Y'all go ahead and pick it.
I'm gonna go with the better team.
Better team gonna win. Okay. He's already got 50 from his defense. He's putting Chig. I think everybody in our league has started Chig Okonkwo at least once this season. Johnny, I'm sorry. King of the Gridiron, have you started Chig Okonkwo or had him on your roster this year?
I have not had him on my roster.
You're the only team. I had him on my team and I lost with Chig Okonkwo in my roster. That's the only flaw I want to give you. He's been on every roster and I don't think he's had a win. Did he was with 8?
I started him last week.
Oh, you started him last week?
Yeah, he had 20 points
one
last
catch
week.
for 39 yards, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think he had 20 points.
Okay. One catch. All right. So
he had a solid week last week.
All right. So we're going with that game. Okay, the next game. One team is playing for everything, all the marbles. They need a win. They need some other teams to lose. They could be sitting with a nice winning record. They're going to be over 500 regardless. We got Fire Dogs, who's 7-6, going up against King of the Gridiron, who's 11-2. King of the Gridiron, again, Doesn't matter what happens. He could lose by 200 points this week, and he still will hold the number 1 seed. And unless somebody else scores a bunch of more points, he will probably also still lead the league in scoring. So congrats for being the top dog right now, man. Congrats. So
I appreciate that.
You don't have it easy, though. Baker Mayfield will be in the dome. Gus Edwards will be back playing in the rain, which they're going to run it. Alexander Madison, Brandon Ayuk, A.J. Brown, Gabe. He's got a good team.
Yeah, he's got a nice squad.
He's got a good team. You got the average quarterback in Dak Prescott, who could win the MVP this year. ETN, Swift, Addison, Pickens. Pickens didn't help you out last night, man.
That's why I should have put in Zeke instead of Pickens at that point.
Yeah.
36 points on the bench, but I still feel pretty good, even though I only got 6 out of Pickens.
Yeah. It's gonna be a tough game. And especially when you look at your two defenses, the Cowboys versus the Eagles, they'll get a couple of sacks, couple of picks. Well, maybe a pick, not a couple.
Yeah.
And then the Packers over the Giants, they'll have fun with them. The Packers look like a playoff team now. So who do we want to pick in this game, man? Because this is the system, it's telling us a 64% chance of the King of the Gridiron. I think they're looking at his points overall and how well he's done in picking that game. I don't think he's really breaking it down. I don't think they're breaking it down as well. I think it's a little bit closer than that.
I'm not picking, so whatever y'all say.
I'm going with King of the Gridiron because that would make things a whole lot easier for me.
Got you. And again, I think that Cowboys Eagles game could be more of a shootout than we think. I think the defenses will still probably end up with 30 or 40 each. I don't think it'd be a 70-point defense week for the Cowboys, but Kincaid, Ferguson, Addison.
Like Ferguson, man.
Huh?
Dak likes Ferguson. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Your tight ends, because I don't think Dawson Knox, I think they showed that he got a practice in today, but I think they might hold him out for one more week. And even if he does, I think it's still enough for Dalton Kincaid, that relationship that he has with Josh Allen. I think they'll be able to keep that going. And I like your running backs. I like your running backs this week a lot. So I'm going to take you too, man. It's going to be close though. I think Dogs is going to have you sweating until the end.
All right.
The next game, we got Baker King versus Infantry Warrior. Baker King is still playing for his playoff life. He needs to win for sure. If he loses, a couple other things can happen with him still making it, but a win gets him in. Infantry Warrior is really just playing spoiler. And believe it or not, this is a game we probably should break down because on the surface, it appears that Infantry Warrior should win it. So
yeah, definitely.
I'll let
got you there. I'm gonna go Infantry Warrior. I think that Baker King comes up a little short. He, just the matchups Infantry Warrior has this week. Tua against Tennessee, the Tennessee defense. I have them on my roster. I'm very aware of how soft they are on the back end. So, yeah, Tyreek Hill will be playing against Little Leaguers this week pretty much. So, yeah, Derrick Henry should have a field day. It's gonna be a tough one. Definitely going to be a tough one for Baker King.
Yeah,
I agree too.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Infantry Warrior on this one. I mean, he has the 49ers defense, but Geno does all right with DK Metcalf. I think the Saints defense going against that Carolina Panthers offense. They're gonna get some big points off of that. Tua is always gonna get points as long as he's launching it to Tyreek Hill. If Joe Mixon does what he did last week, again this week, that's pretty much a wrap. So yeah, and I know what my Chargers defense does too. I've seen them play. So Williams might have a field day on the Chargers defense as well. So that's why I'm going with Infantry Warrior on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you look at, if you just start from the top, Tua, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, and Javonte Williams, that's like 150, 60 points right there not automatically, but I mean, that's about 150 points, guys. That's and then that's not even getting down to the defense. And Carolina and the Saints both those defenses score 60 this week or 70 this week. So yeah, I'm gonna say Infantry Warrior upsets Baker King. Baker King gonna be mad at me, man. Sorry, Baker. He ain't watching. He boycotting too. So the next game we got Rob 8-5, Swagner 4-9. Rob is in regardless. He's gonna finish. I think he'll win his division regardless, right? If I'm not mistaken. Can somebody
Is
look
that what
that?
you got with it? Yeah. Well,
He's-
no. If Baker
Baker
King
King
wins,
wins and he
yeah,
loses.
and he loses, yeah, then
Okay.
Baker King takes that spot.
Okay. All right. So he still needs to play for something. Nonetheless, he's locked into the playoffs though. So
Yeah.
he's locked into the playoffs. So Swagner is really just playing for the upset in this one. This is another one of those games where, as hot as Rob has been, and really has been Jake Browning. I didn't think anybody saw that game from Monday night coming from Jake Browning. Kenneth Walker looks to be back this week. D-Hop going up against the Dolphins. That could be a shootout. DJ Moore is back from him off of a bye. They're playing against the Lions. Adam Thielen, I'm not trusting that anymore. Travis Kelce and Laporta, though, best two tight end duo in the league.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Dolphins going up against the Titans. On the flip side, you got Swagner's got CJ Stroud. I don't trust CJ Stroud this week going against the Jets. I just don't think the Jets will put up enough points for him to have to do what he needs to. And also the Jets defense is going to be good for him. Eckler, Chuba Hubbard, Cooper. I mean, it's a good team on paper. I will say Dallas Goedert coming back does throw a wrinkle in, how the tight ends match up with one another. That's the only thing. So I think Swagner's going to put up a fight, but I think Rob could win. I think Rob should win. Put it like that.
Yeah. Swagner. CJ Stroud. I just don't see CJ Stroud playing enough minutes. That game will be over at halftime.
You think so?
Yeah, it won't be competitive. And yeah, if they get up quick, they just throw the ball so much, man. They get up quick, and the Jets don't have any offense come back, make it competitive. Yeah. So that one will be over quick.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm rolling with Rob one time. I think that's going to be the dub right there.
All right. So win puts him in at the division. I think he'll finish no worse than the 4th seed and actually would have a chance at the 3rd seed, depending on how things shake out with Wolf, G-Men, and STL. I think those teams is what it comes down to. The next game we'll go to is Laugh Now, who's 4-9 versus the Bulldogs, who's 6-7. Bulldogs had a chance at the playoffs. I think even if he wins, he would need so much to happen. Laugh Now is at 4-9. He's completely out of it. Not going to get a chance to defend that championship. So I'll be picking up that trophy from him pretty soon. Put it back in limbo before it goes to a new owner. But yeah, Bulldogs has got a good team. Bulldogs is. I was looking at the overall record. Bulldogs is. You know how it shows us like power rankings when how many you score and stuff like that. And Bulldogs last week, he beat G-Man by scoring 278 points. So it's funny, he has those weeks and then he'll have a week where he only scores 178. I think he keeps the higher part going though this week. And I do think he takes down Laugh Now to at least finish at 500 at 7-7.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. Bulldogs matchups are great this week.
Yeah,
everybody looks competitive. It should be a really solid week for him. Unfortunate, definitely unfortunate he can't get in, but yeah, he should have a big week.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of those teams where it'd be interesting to see them in the playoffs just because of how potent they could be. So, all right, so we're picking Bulldogs, and so then the final game. If I wasn't with the Wolf organization, it'd be part of the game of the week because you have the 8-5 G-Men versus the 9-4 Big Wolf. Big Wolf is in the division lead right now, sitting at the number 2 seed. But if he loses, he could go all the way down to the 6th seed, I think. If he wins, everything remains the same. So I will say, actually, no, can't even say it this week. Never mind. I was like, The Wolf is yet to put its true starting lineup. Never this season has a Wolf had its full starting lineup.
Well, this game has big ramifications for me because if I win, I play the winner of this game. So definitely be watching. Jalen Hurts is always dangerous.
Yep.
I want to go as long as I can without having to see him.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs, he's hot and cold, but he'll kill you. He is the reason I lost to G-Man last time we played. So, I don't know, man. This one's tough. Looking at the matchups, Jahmyr Gibbs took all my little Montgomery work, so I'm kind of salty about him.
You ain't got to worry about that.
So it's going to be interesting, man. It's definitely going to be interesting. If I got to make a pick, I think I'm gonna go.
Stay it.
Wolf, man. Wolf. Justin Jefferson is back this
week. No.
Yeah.
Say that.
Wolf is going. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's back this week, man. He's always good for
Kraft, man. Tucker Kraft. I'm having to start Tucker Kraft. Do you even know who he is?
I see that. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. I see that. But like you said, Green Bay is hot right now. He could mess around and catch one or two.
That's what he does. He's going to mess around and catch one or two. The only way his one or two matter if he's getting a box like he did on Thanksgiving Day. And he's got to get in the box. He's got to get in the box. So
yeah. I don't know, man. I think I might be rolling with Wolf too. I'm looking at this matchup. The reason I say that is just because, like, if Lawrence doesn't play, you got Calvin Ridley out there, and I don't know what C.J. Beathard is going to do out there with him. Once again, if you get C.J. Stroud and they run up the score real quick, Nico Collins is going to be out of action because they're just going to keep running the rock.
Yeah, so Collins would be a reason why the score got run up. So that's the other part about that. So
and that's why Nico will have a big one.
Noah Brown out there. Still got Noah Brown out there and other receivers. So it's not necessarily saying that it'll go straight to Collins because if Sauce Gardner is covering Collins, it's going. I don't know, man. I just think your running backs are better to me, in my opinion, with Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, Zach Moss, you never know which one's going to show up. Williams is always good. You got Justin Jefferson coming back. Keenan Allen, that's the only target that really Justin Herbert has to really go to. I just don't know, man. I'm going with the Wolves.
Yeah. But I mean, the glaring difference for me is that defense, man. The fact that G-Man is starting the Carolina Panthers defense, man. Like that's a tough one.
Defense are legit.
Huh?
The Panthers defense, they're playing my Saints. Do you know?
I know, but
and Derek Carr.
Yeah, it is Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. They're playing Derek Carr. Okay.
It is that, but
it don't matter which one it was because Jameis Winston likes to throw to the other team too.
Yeah.
He throw pick sixes. Jameis Winston go big and go home when you come to Jameis Winston.
Man, hey, you got to go for it all.
Yeah, he don't throw him in the red zone though. That's what Derek Carr throws him in the red zone.
Lamar Jackson will be in a shootout.
No, he won't. It's gonna be storming. It's gonna be raining the whole time.
Oh well, there you go.
It's gonna be raining the whole time.
That'll actually be great for your defense then.
That's about it. Yeah. So Kyron Williams, maybe. Lamar, maybe, but the defense, that'd be the one thing I might be able to bank on. But then again, all of this could be thrown out the window. It might be a shootout. Who knows? So, all right.
Yeah. All right.
So, appreciate y'all coming on. Always appreciate the VP, King of the Gridiron, #1. Better team. Glad you're on here. Looking forward to having you in the playoffs, man. Don't want to play you in the first round, but if I have to, I'll do it. I'll redeem myself from earlier this year. So,
let's do it.
All right. Well,
all right, fellas.
Y'all enjoy these games this week, and we'll see what shakes out for the playoff.